It's time for Real Estate 101 with the Karey Brown team from Realty Executives Preferred Advisors.
Good Sunday morning to you. This is Karey Brown, broker-owner of Realty Executives Preferred Advisors here in Topeka. And this month we are doing a back-to-school month. Basically, every parent asks us whenever they move into town, what school district should I live in? And we thought, what better way to get those answers than from the school systems themselves. So today we have Dr. Marty Stessman, and he is with Shawnee Heights. Good morning, Mr. Stessman.
Good morning, Karey.
So we've basically asked the same questions of each school. We got those questions from parents off of Facebook. Just sent out a post and said, what do you want to know? And then also from clients. So we're going to start with that. What are great ways for parents to get involved and the community to get involved with the school system?
Well, we have a number of opportunities for parent involvement. We've got site councils and booster clubs at all of our schools, and parents can also get involved by signing up to serve as room parents and assist with class events and celebrations. And at the high school and the middle school level, we have a number of booster clubs that are individual and unique to each class and activity as well.
So what are important fundraisers that you guys do, and how can the community get involved with those?
We have the Shawnee Heights Public Schools Foundation, which supports all schools and all teachers. And each year they hold a golf tournament, a breakfast, and a discount card sale. In addition to that, I think probably the keystone or capstone event for all of our elementary schools is the school carnival, which is held each year. And schools and communities are invited to attend and participate in all of those, along with a number of other activities that all of our clubs at the high school do.
And how can people find out about where and when you guys have things going on? Is there a site?
You can just simply go to our website. If you don't have to look very far on our website to find the events. There's a calendar on the very front page, which will, if you click on that link, will take you to all the activities that are going on in the district. Or you go to a specific school's calendar or website, and their calendar will be unique to that school.
Okay. So now we get into the deep questions that parents asked. Mm-hmm. What are the school's dropout rates?
Dropout rate is figured on a class-by-class, year-by-year basis, so it's usually between 2% and 4%.
And what could the school district do to minimize that?
We have a number of alternative programs that we do. Back in the old days, if kids didn't fit in, there was a place for them. But there's no place in society for kids who don't have an education anymore. But we also recognize that some kids are kind of a square peg in a round hole, and so we try to find a place for those as well. So we have alternative programs, we have dropout recovery programs, and we have assistance programs for students to maintain credit to stay on pace to graduate.
And how many of your graduates go on to college?
About 75% of our graduates go on to a 2 or 4 year post-secondary institution.
And how many merit scholars are typical in a graduating class?
That varies year to year. That's pretty population dependent. We usually have 1 or 2, but there are years we won't have any, and then there'll be years we have 3. So that fluctuates up and down. We always have a number of National Merit Commended students and Governor Scholars as well.
Good deal. And I was just had a show with Dustin Dick, and we were discussing grammar. Again, everybody's texting, and there's all the shorthand going on. So what do you guys do, and is our students taught good grammar?
Yes, students are taught good grammar. It doesn't necessarily translate into their use of it in their casual lives or their daily lives at home. One of the things we're really proud of this year is our writing scores. Our writing scores were well above the state average across the board because over the last decade or so, when No Child Left Behind ushered in a new era of accountability through assessment, and reading and math became the only true assessments, many schools, I wouldn't say abandoned, but de-emphasized writing. And so we made a conscious effort to bring back writing and writing instruction, which included grammar and usage, in order to improve students' grammar skills and their writing. I also think that there's a unique connection between writing and thinking, because often kids don't think much until they have to write about a topic.
Current test scores, I know that that's going to be kind of hard to answer at this moment, but if you would do the best you can.
Well, actually, preliminary results are out, and we're right at or above the state average in all grade levels across the board. What I would tell you is what we emphasize here at Shawnee Heights is not just simply plugging in a number into the algorithm and getting the right answer, but we try to emphasize conceptual understanding and critical thinking. And we believe those are measured best on the state assessments by the multiple disciplinary performance task and by writing. And our scores show that our kids are better thinkers because they do well on that performance task and on the writing. Unfortunately, those are the things that are harder to administer through an assessment and harder to grade and take more time and money to grade. So the state will be de-emphasizing them and not administering those assessments next year, which we find disappointing because our kids show up pretty well on those.
So the next one up is, what is the school's bullying process or policies?
You mean the policy? We're like everybody else. We have an anti-bullying policy. We're all required to by law. We have counselors who are trained in dealing with bullying. We have processes where kids can report bullying. We encourage all kids to not be bystanders and not to enable or tolerate bullying and to report it. We train students as peer mediators to help deal with it, and we train everybody in strategies to cope with and avoid bullying.
And do you have a social media policy or anything like that?
You mean in terms of bullying on social media?
Yes.
Anything that happens to impact the school day can be dealt with. But that really, it's a new era with that because often much of the bullying happens electronically and it happens outside the school day, and it's something we're left to deal with during the day.
Okay, and the next question up is, what is the percentage of your free and reduced lunches?
29% free, 18% reduced.
And your willingness to help with the IEP process?
We have a very active intervention and tiered system of support. So we don't start with, hey, you're having trouble, let's refer you for an IEP. We start with, hey, you're having trouble, how can we help you as a student? And as we begin to collect data and to identify where and how and why the student is having trouble, then we place interventions that are designed to assist that student so that they are successful. And we have tiered supports that we use and apply that will hopefully help that student become successful without being referred to special ed and having an IEP. That being said, 16 or 17% of our kids are going to end up with an IEP. That's been our track record. I wouldn't go directly to the, hey, let's develop an IEP for every kid who has a problem. What I would tell you is we want to develop a plan and a series of interventions for every kid who has trouble learning.
Next question up is, what kind of AP classes do you offer?
Oh, we have a number. AP Government, AP Biology, U.S. History, Human Geography, World History, English Language and Composition, English Literature and Comp, Environmental Science, Physics. In addition to that, we have a number of concurrent enrollment college courses that are offered through Allen County Community College and through Washburn University. Those would include college comp, speech, college algebra, courses like that will allow kids to get college credit while they're still attending high school. And
what is your student-teacher ratio?
I looked at the information you published on your site, and it's something like 14 or 16 to 1. And that's probably about right, 16 to 1, but I don't think that's probably the most accurate stat. I think what you want to know is on an average class size, and our average class size is right at 21 to 1 district-wide, 21 students per teacher. If we factored in special ed and band and music and other specials, we get that down to about that 16 level, but an average class size here is about 21 students.
Yeah, we get the data from a website that's nationally run, and I think we figured out with an earlier show that those are pretty old, like from around 2011.
Yeah, and they're a little skewed too. But I'm guessing they if it at our high or say our elementaries, we're sitting at 21 to 1, but you add in a couple sped teachers, music teacher, traveling music teacher, PE, traveling PE, gifted, and orchestra, and you get it down pretty quickly. But I think what parents really want to know is how many kids are going to be in my class, and the answer is about 21.
So a good ratio.
Yeah, it is good, and we think that's one of the advantages that we have to offer. We're large enough as a district to offer substantial resources, but we're small enough to offer smaller classes, and a more personalized learning environment.
Okay, the next question up is the size of the school compared to student load.
Our schools, roughly, our elementary schools, about 440 kids per school. We have four schools with about 440 students each. We have one middle school with about 580 students, 575 to 560 or to 600. It ranges. And then high school's got about 1,100 or 1,150 students.
And what kind of school security system do you have in place?
We have access control at all of our buildings. All buildings now require you to exit. You have to be buzzed in, and on our elementaries, 2 of the 4 required an entrance through the office. The other 2 are monitored entrances and secured through a lobby. At the middle school and at the high school, again, another secure entrance. You're required to be routed through the main office in order to get into the building. All external doors are locked and monitored via cameras. At the high school and the middle school, we have school resource officers, police officers at those 2 buildings.
Dress code. Particularly, they address 9th graders transitioning into high school, but let's go the gamut and say, what kind of dress code do you have clear up to high school?
You can make a dress code with 100,000 rules, and then kids are going to find that 100,001st rule to break it. What we try to do is tell kids to dress in good taste in a way that doesn't distract. We also tell them, obviously no alcohol, tobacco, or controversial things that would incite a student riot or violent act, things like that, nothing overtly offensive. We want them to dress in good taste and in a manner that doesn't detract from the learning environment.
See, anything else that you would like the community to know about the school?
Well, I think here at Shawnee Heights, we are kind of one of the hidden gems of Shawnee County. We're out in the southeast corner, so we probably don't get as much attention as everybody else, but we don't necessarily want as much attention. We've got some suburban, rural kids. We've got a good mix of kids, I think, and a great sense of community. I think we're large enough as a district and a high school to offer substantial resources, but we're small enough to offer a more personalized education to our kids. Our high school is a one-to-one high school. Every student has an iPad, and we have been recognized by Apple Computer as one of the leading schools in the nation in terms of most effectively implementing that. In fact, Apple will be out here later this month to take pictures and interview students and teachers about how we're doing it, because I think we're a model school of implementation for technology and using it to increase learning, not just simply making it available.
Good deal. So anything else you would like the community to know and how that they can be involved before we go?
If you want to get more involved, just simply call the school office and ask to speak with the principal. I guarantee they'll call you back the same day, and I also guarantee they'll have a job for you to do as a volunteer, and we'll welcome and embrace your participation.
And how can they get a hold of the school?
You can either dial the number or just simply drive up and walk in the front door.
And the phone number there is 785-379-5800.
That is the central office, 785-379-5800. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for joining me on the show today, and I really appreciate you telling them about the community.
All right. Thank you, Karey.
You're listening to Real Estate 101. I am here today with Dr. Steve Noble, and he is the superintendent of Seaman High. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning.
So basically what we're doing here, the whole month of August, is we're letting the school systems tell us why your students should be in their school system. People ask us all the time, and what better way to get the right answers than to go to the people themselves?
Sure.
So we're just going to get started with the questions, and I'll let you tell them all about it. What would you say your school has to offer?
Well, the thing that Seaman, as a new family to the Topeka area, first of all, I can speak from experience as the person that came here. Seaman has a very, very reputable district for being outstanding for students and for teaching and learning, for all of our extracurricular activities. It drew my family. I have 3 daughters that my wife and 3 daughters moved here because it was an opportunity to be part of a great district that has a great reputation for getting their kids ready for college, getting those kids ready for careers, having outstanding after-school and activity programs. So we just have a great community feel. We have great teachers. We have great students. We have a lot of school resources in our district with new facilities that have been repurposed. We have a brand new middle school for 7th and 8th graders. Literally, it opened in January of 2016. Every elementary school and the high school received new rooms, new gymnasiums, new corridors. That was all important to us. We are rolling out a one-to-one digital learning initiative where every student in grades 7 through 12 will receive a MacBook Air so that they can utilize learning resources better than ever. The world is really at their disposal with the MacBook Air, and the teachers are facilitators of learning that will help them engage with the world with projects and creative and critical thinking skills. So we really believe on making sure that we're learning without limits. That's our vision, and we want all of our students to achieve their full potential through that vision. So
that sounds great. So let's talk about what parents and the community could do to get involved with the school.
Well, when they move to our community, to the Topeka Seaman area, whether they're a parent or not, they're automatically part of our Seaman family. This is a very connected area of town. Our folks really sort of, the events happen around our schools, and so there's a wealth of opportunities to get involved and be a part of it. You know, the things I've already learned are, for example, every year we have the civic group. We combine with the Optimist Club of North Topeka for some of our facilities that we use, and so there's civic groups that are very much a part of what we're doing. They recognize our teachers, our students. We have one of the more renowned homecoming parades in the Topeka area. It's an incredible event that brings out hundreds, if not thousands, of people to the streets of North Topeka so that they can watch our floats, and every school participates. We have site council opportunities for parents to get involved in elementary site councils, and they coordinate the float building from every elementary school. So we have participation from elementary kiddos all the way up through. It's just quite an event. We have one of the more renowned wellness plans of any public school. They're widely known for the wellness policies, wellness activities. So we have, for example, we have a Fall into Fitness 5K, which is November the 12th, and that's a real big event that celebrates our schools and fitness activities. There's booster clubs opportunities and other parent groups that are always active in doing things. So it's a very involved, it's a real Seaman family type of an atmosphere.
How and what important fundraisers do you have that you would want the community to know about, and how can they get involved?
Sure. We do have first of all, we have an educational foundation. So anybody that's always willing to donate money to the schools can donate through the Education Foundation. That's always encouraged. More organized is the newest one, or the most recent one coming up, is the annual Fall into Fitness that I mentioned earlier. That's a fundraiser for our wellness activities throughout all of our schools, and that is a 5K. That'll be run on November the 12th, and you can register by going to our website at seamanschools.org/fallintofitness.
These next series of questions came from Facebook, and we're just going to run through those. What are the Seaman dropout rates?
Well, over the last 5 years, our graduation rate has been well above the state average at 94%. So that equates to a very small dropout rate. Overwhelmingly, most of our students that come to Seaman schools graduate, as indicated by that very high percentage. So we're very pleased with that. We'd like it to be 100%. It needs to be 100, but it's at 94% currently.
Well, that is really great. How many graduates do you track, first off, but how many do you know that have gone on to college?
Sure. We do a senior survey every year that our seniors head off. And the latest survey, we had 277 seniors, and of that we had 244 responses returned, which is an incredible ratio of return on those surveys. And so this last senior class, 58% of those seniors went to a 4-year college, 35% of them went to a 2-year college, 5% went to a technical school, 1% of them went to military, 1% went to work full-time, and over 93% of those seniors were college-bound for post-secondary training of some sort. That's a very high percentage of our students continue on in their post-secondary endeavors.
That's phenomenal. Okay, so the next one up is how many merit scholars are typically in a graduating class?
Sure. This most recent class had 2 that were in commended status for merit scholars. Those students were Michelle Anderson and Cassidy Harden.
A lot of people text anymore. Everything's in shorthand. And this apparently came across as being something every parent wanted to know. Are the kids taught good grammar in school?
Yes, we believe, writing is still one of the key pieces to producing what we know as people. and it's no different for our students. We expect our students to write well. The writing is not so much as we might have grown up writing in longhand or cursive, but it is extensive research and writing skills that are taught from the very first time students can learn how to write with their ABCs, all the way through research papers that are coming from resources, and our students understand the need for peer-reviewed empirical research and using quality resources to put their papers together. So it's a comprehensive, it's a creative writing piece, it's a technical writing piece, it's the persuasive and the research. We start doing that throughout all of our grade levels. So our students, we feel it's very important to be able to produce what you know in a variety of means, and writing certainly is one of those.
Okay, and this is another one that was really important to parents. Do you know what the current test scores are?
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up. I do not have test scores right in front of me to be able to tell you, but I can tell you that in listening to our folks and going through our laptop deployments here, we've had several nights in a row where we've done one-to-one laptop deployments for our grades 7 through 12 students, and in those presentations, I have learned as a new parent to the Seaman School District myself as superintendent that our ACT scores continue over the last many years to be above the state average. Our students are well prepared on the ACT. We have the state assessment score, frankly, is not a priority to me as a superintendent. The most important thing to me are two things. Number one, what are our students' ACT scores? Because still, ACT is the gatekeeper to college, and it's the gatekeeper to higher ed, and good scores are important. So we will continue to be tracking those to ensure that our students are performing at and above the state average and giving them great opportunities to get into college. But then secondly, and more importantly, what are our students doing after high school? Are they enrolling in post-secondary institutions of any kind? Are they getting some extra training beyond high school? Because the fact of the matter is, the high school diploma alone is not enough. And this community expects our students to do far better than that, as I've told you with those statistics earlier. So are they enrolling? And then most importantly, are they returning for their second year of post-secondary training? Are they coming back for year two? Because if they come back for year two, statistics show that they will likely, very highly likely, complete that post-secondary endeavor, whether that's a 2-year, 4-year technical certification, or whatever road they're taking. So that's what's more important to us than just a test score.
That sounds great. The next one is bullying policies. What kind of policies do you have in place to either prevent or curb that?
The Board of Education prohibits bullying in any form, either by a student, a staff member, or a parent towards one of our students, or by a student or a staff member, or a parent towards a staff member, etc. That's taken very seriously by us. We have extensive bullying programs. In fact, we're a pilot school. Our middle school is a pilot school in the CI3T model, which is an expanded model of MTSS. MTSS is a multi-tiered system of supports for academic improvement. The CI3T model puts another layer onto that to address the whole child emotionally, for the social emotional issues, and bullying is certainly included as part of that. So we measure that annually. We have that ongoing right now as a pilot school at our middle school, 7th and 8th grade, and we're looking to expand that in all of our elementaries and even our high school. So we have a very structured framework in place to address bullying, to make sure we're staying on top of that.
The next question is the percentage of free and reduced lunches for the school system.
Sure. We're running at about 37% for free and reduced lunches. As with most of our neighbors across Kansas, that number is slightly on the increase. It seems that year after year, but it's at about 37% for us right now.
Okay. And then willingness to help with an IEP process.
You bet. One of the things that we pride ourselves on in the Seaman School District that I've learned since I've arrived is that we have a very favorably considered, favorably reviewed special services program. We run our own. We do not co-op with anybody, so it's truly our people, our experts that are running these programs. We have requests time and again from folks in neighboring areas to bring their children to us for their special needs with an IEP or whatever needs to be met. We thoroughly evaluate that, and if we can provide that service, we're certainly going to do that. I'm very proud of the fact that we believe in all children, and we go the extra mile with making sure that those IEPs are being met, and that even our students with disabilities are receiving the best education they can possibly receive, so they too will be successful after high school.
Okay, and the next one up is AP classes. What kind of classes do you use?
We offer several. We offer AP Senior English, AP Calculus, AP Government, AP U.S. History, Honors, Junior and Senior Language Arts, Honors Trig and Pre-Calc, Honors Algebra 2, Honors Physics, Honors Chemistry. So we have a number of honors and AP courses that we offer for students to challenge our top third students to expand on their academic performance. So it's a very rigorous platform and a rigorous curriculum.
Okay. The next question they asked was, what is the student-teacher ratio?
Our student-teacher ratio, based on several sites, and I've run the numbers here with our state reports officially from KSDE, and I want to double-check that number. That number is about 11.5%. I've looked online at other sites that have us at about 13.5%, not 11.5%, 11.5 to 1 was the KSDE number that was calculated. I saw 13.5 to 1 on other sites. Regardless, it's in the lower teens, between 12 to 13 to 14 students to 1. So that's one of the things that is important to our folks. Our low class ratios with a low teacher to pupil ratio. So we think that 1-to-1 opportunity for students exists here. We think our students get good attention from our teachers, and we think that helps us in the long run.
The size of the school compared to the student load, would you say that the school's obviously large enough for the amount of students? We
do, and that's been a process that's been going on for about 5 years now with the bond issue. We just passed, but we're just about to complete a $54 million bond issue. The last of the projects are being put in place now, and there was expansion that was done in all of our elementary schools and at the high school, and then of course I mentioned earlier we built a brand new state-of-the-art middle school for 7th and 8th grade. So yeah, the footprint is certainly large enough to handle all of our nearly 4,000 students.
School security, what kind of systems do you guys have in place for that?
Yeah, we have annually updated our emergency operations plan. We have security officers on duty. We have 2 full-time officers at the high school. We have 1 full-time officer at the middle school, and we have 1 or 2 other part-time officers that will float around from building to building. So we have anywhere between 4 and 5 officers on duty at any given time. It's very nice to have our own security staff here at Seaman Schools so that we can make sure our students are safe. That's the number one criteria we have for our schools is we will offer a safe and orderly environment for our kids.
They zoned in on 9th graders, but dress codes seem to be very important to parents. What kind of dress code does Seaman High have?
What we actually do with the dress code is we have a dress code that prohibits any distractions to the teaching and learning that goes on in the school. If it's a distraction and causing others to be distracted, it is not allowable. Certainly anything vulgar or anything that promotes any illegal substance for an 18-year-old and under is not allowed at all. They have to be clothes have to be neatly kept, and that's the important piece. But what we do at Seaman that I think separates us is we talk about the why. We don't just have a dress code for dress code's sake. We have the why. We believe it's very important that we teach our students that they need to represent themselves well, that their futures depend on looking good, and acting right, and being responsible, and being productive, and being service-oriented, and those kinds of things. And dress is certainly a part of that. And so in our Success 101 class at high school, for example, that all students are required to take, we talk about dress code. We talk about why it's important to look professional when you show up on a job. We talk about why some employers require you to wear a uniform, and others don't. But we talk about what those dress expectations are for particular careers. And that's why we start them in the dress codes in our schools, so they can be prepared for that.
And what other things, in closing, would you say you would want the community to know about your school?
We always start with why at Seaman. We really believe in learning without limits, and it starts with why we do what we do. This is more than just, I am not the superintendent of schools at Seaman. I believe in teaching without limits. I believe in taking the boundaries off of learning for our students to be at their maximum potential. I believe that they can blossom in a nurturing and caring environment that's safe. I believe that our teachers can be the difference for every kid in the school system. And I believe that our parents work closely with us to make that happen. And I believe our schools really believe in children first. We're a kid-first district. And, oh, by the way, I'm the superintendent of schools. So, see, I'm just a person that works here, and our why is way bigger than what we do. Our why is we're all about kids, and we want them to be the best they can be.
Thank you so much, Dr. Steve Noble from Seaman High, for being here, and really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks for listening to Real Estate 101.
Thank you for listening to Real Estate 101 with the Karey Brown team from Realty Executives Preferred Advisors. Tune in again next Sunday at 11 o'clock for Real Estate 101.